Cool. All right, everybody, welcome. This is episode 98. 99 will be on next Wednesday. We will be we'll be focusing that night on surplus and overbid exclusively. And then we'll return August 5th for front office Wednesday and August 6th for back office Thursday. So tonight we're going to take a little bit of a deviation. We're going to cover some back office stuff, but primarily I'm going to tonight cover Skip Wizard and the Capital Passport GPT. So we should be about 60 minutes. So, usually we cover finding opportunities, and tonight we're going to answer the question like, how do we turn these opportunities into closed deals? So, front office identifies opportunity, the back office captures the value. And then tonight we're going to introduce Skip Wizard and we're going to refresh on Capital Passport GPT. So, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and just show Skip Wizard. And you guys have this ability now. It's actually in it's in the Facebook group and files. When you download it now, when you get a file, if there is a GPT for it, the GPT will also be available. The Bitly link and the GPT link will both be available in the zip. So this is Skip Wizard, and so we have learning mode and Skip in Skip Wizard, where I'm going to put learning mode in every one of the GPTs. We're only going to use 5 GPTs out of the 8. We're using 4: Capital Passport, Reup Scope Engine, Surplus and Overbid, Skip Wizard, and Engage, which I don't have on my list, but it's in the system. And that's the comms one. So obviously, guys, we got learning mode, we got batch mode, we got operator mode, and we got Delta Suite mode. So the best thing is you can actually let me just show you each of the 4. And so I encourage everybody to use the Skip Wizard so we can get feedback on it. So there's a knowledge guide that I have in there that I put in here. Learning mode is designed to teach skip tracing concepts and workflows. So the guide emphasizes using lawful public records, separating verified facts from AI hypothesis, preserving evidence, and encouraging verification before contacting everyone. It also identifies the expected outputs: identity summaries, confidence scores, evidence logs, research plans, operator action recommendations. So the first thing you guys are going to do is start with the information you already have. You're already going to have the property address, the owner's name, the parcel and APN, a case number, the trustee seal number, and if you're doing surplus and overbid, surplus claim information. Where you're going to get those, the NED, the NOD for non-judicial foreclosures, or list pendants for judicial foreclosure. So that's going to be your intake. And your goal is to determine exactly who you are researching before looking for contact information. Step 2 is you're going to normalize the record and verify that all identifying information is consistent. So confirm if your contact spelling of the owner name, the property address, the mailing address, the parcel number, the county, and the state. And then, determine whether ownership is an individual, a married couple, an LLC, a corporation, a trust, or an estate. Many errors happen because operators chase the wrong entity. Then you're going to verify ownership. Use the county assessor or the recorder. Every county has some form of an assessor or a recorder, tax collector, things like that. It's usually a second office, that manages that. So you can look at that in your market guides. You can go research the counties in your markets and determine who actually is the county assessor. And you can get the current deed, any previous deeds, you get all the transfer dates, the document numbers, the vesting language. Then you can go, is the owner still on title? Was the property transferred? Is there a trust involved? Was ownership recently changed? Understand the foreclosure timeline. So you want to know notice of default, list pendants for judicial states, the notice of trustee sale, the auction date, the trustee's deed, and the certificate of sale. Determine whether the property is still in foreclosure, if it was sold, reverted to the lender, or produced surplus funds. Then step 5, determine whether surplus funds exist, and then you can build an identified profile. To public records, Then you can go into probate indicators if there's any probate court, obituaries, estate filings. So you can ask it to do searches on obituaries. What are obituaries? Does this name come up in obituaries? Can you then find heirs? Can you find family members to help with skip tracing? And then obviously, you can look at even employment if they were employed somewhere. There's all kinds of possibilities where you can do this, and you can pretty much do this rapidly and have it send you a Gmail. You don't have to sit there and spend much time on it. Research related parties is step 8, and then locate current contact information. Once identified as verified, lawfully search public sources, mailing addresses, voter registration, property records, corporate filings, and any professional licenses if they're a doctor, a lawyer, or anything like that. If using commercial skip tracing tools, treat their results as leads that still require verification. I'm trying to get everybody to have zero spend, meaning you don't have to spend any money with any other services. You'll be able to do everything. Now you have the GPT, Skip Wizard, and you have Skip Wizard. Plus, you have a lot of skip tracing Orem. There's skip tracing in almost every one of our apps. We're trying to get everybody also to start using the GPT a lot more in the group, at least because we cover them on the sessions and we don't have to bounce around as much. If you have the apps or using the apps, let me know. We'll do a one-on-one session. Because we're having a few days difference next week without, obviously on Wednesday, I'll be available to do some more one-on-ones to help you guys get set up in the apps. Then you can do a confidence score. You got a high score is 90, 100%. It's just like school, 70, 89 is passing. Anything below 70, it's probably not going to happen. Then you want to create an evidence log. And you guys can copy and paste all this stuff. Or go build an evidence log in projects to start with. And then you get your operator action plan. And then it gets a lead. Here's an example workflow on 123 Main Street. And it gives you the 9 options. So this is your RCIC workflow, which emphasizes normalizing lead data, identifying the owners and entities, building public record research plans, documenting evidence, assigning confidence scores, and producing actionable operator recommendations. So that is actually what we first get out of learning mode. So I'll go back to the other modes. I'll go back to the other. And so there aren't other modes. We just put learning mode because I'm trying to get everybody used to that. You get a batch mode, and these are going to be a little shorter because you got to feed it in there. So I encourage everybody, if you guys have started running leads, even if you're not pursuing them, if you got any, just put them in there to start training it. So it's going to ask you to upload an actual lead list via CSV or Excel. The only attached file currently available is a skip tracer knowledge guide. So once you upload a CSV or an Excel, it's going to produce the normalized names, mailing addresses, and property addresses, standardized entity types. It's going to have duplicate and near duplicate detection, deceased owner, probate, vacancy, ownership conflict flags, a confidence score. It's going to have a prioritized operator action queue, and it's going to have an export ready workbook with clean data and research. So when you get these export ready workbook, you can also go and save it in projects. No phone numbers, emails, relatives, or ownership details will be invented. We put in this so you won't get any kind of false reports. So that is batch mode. We go over to operator mode in Skip Wizard, and it's going to be kind of the same thing. It's not going to invent anything. So these are kind of short until you start feeding the system, and you feed these. To locate and verify the parties connected to a property, I'll need the property identifier first. The information you've provided so far is your skip tracing workflow guide. So it's going to ask you for the property address, the APN parcel number, the owner name, the county and state, and recorded document, deed, foreclosure notice, probate filing. You can put the NED in here. Any deeds you can put in there, and it'll actually start the skip tracing process. Once it has that, it'll generate an executive summary, an identity summary, an evidence summary. It'll generate a confidence score, recommend the public record searches, an operator action plan, an operator checklist. It's not going to invent anything. So once it does, it's going to produce all this stuff. So then you can just, like I said, you can copy and paste, put in your buy box, put it in where you start running for that deal, have a project, and start running it for 123 Main Street, and put all your stuff, start just building your chat. Now you got all this. As it generates, you put that in there, It's going to start generating everything for you. It's pretty cool that way. So that is basically the operator mode. That's batch mode. You get an operator mode. So this is for a specific property. So like I said, it's going to come up, it's the same thing. It's going to come up with the same thing as batch mode. This is to locate and verify the parties connected to a property. It's going to need everything the same way, so it's going to come out of the executive summary, the identity summary, the evidence summary, the confidence score, and it's going to have the recommended next steps. The county assessor, the recorder clerk, the probate court, the secretary of state, the tax collector treasurer, all the foreclosure filings and the bankruptcy lien checks where appropriate. Then it's going to give you a checklist, verification tasks before outreach, additional records to obtain, outreach readiness assessment. Then it's going to verify facts, reasonable hypothesis, clearly labeled, unknowns requiring verification. Nothing in RCIC anymore will ever invent phone numbers, emails, relatives, or ownership information. So that is essential. So we get into so that is operator mode. So we just gone through learning mode, batch mode, operator mode. Skip tracing wizard is, like I said, it's in the files tab of both Facebook groups, so you can get it. It has the GPT here. You can upload it. You got the GPT. Work at the GPT as much as you can. It also has the activation process for Netlify and Anthropic to use it as a browser-based, web browser-based app, like all the other apps. But primarily in our group, we're going to start really working for the GPT as much as we can, because almost everybody has it. Some people are still kind of not, they're not comfortable yet 100% with Netlify and Anthropic, and I get that. So we make sure that you guys can use what you feel you want to use. But the GPT is really phenomenal. The more people, guys, if you all start using this for your skip tracing, it's going to help everybody. Because like I've been saying all along, all the intelligence will compound. So as you guys are going in there, this thing is going to get faster. It's going to get deeper. Nobody can see anything you're doing. Remember that. So you get a Delta Suite mode. This is the last mode of Skip Wizard. So you can put in the current lead list in the prior batch. It says it's incomplete because we haven't put anything into it. So that's why I said tonight, even if you guys just got a lead list or something you've been working where you want to generate, go and ask it to run a Delta sweep and look at the AHJs and the off-ramp links for your markets and your market guides. Download those and come back and enter these, input them, start training your system. So it's basically going to, like the same thing, you need to input it. So you can upload, identify a couple files. At minimum, each record should include one stable matching field, such as parcel number, case number, sale file number, or property address. Then it's going to, like I said, it's going to create an executive summary. Then it's going to get you a lead level Delta table. It's going to go out there and do Delta sweeps, property, parcel, case identifiers, prior owner versus current owner. It's going to separate those. New deed or transfer, new liens, judgments, assignments, releases, satisfactions. It's going to have any probate or estate activity. It's going to have bankruptcy or litigation indicators, sale, claim, deadline, surplus, and payment changes, evidence source and verification data, date, confidence score, recommended next action. So it gets pretty cool into this for Skip Wizard. So this is actually what your interface will look like when you guys have it. It's pretty cool. So we'll go back real quick to our plan, and then I'll show you Capital Passport again. And everybody that if you haven't got the Capital Passport, the actual database, the Excel, let me know. The one caveat is it still takes some manual work. It's a manual database. It's Excel. So keep in mind, like the apps for Capital Passport have the cleaner and have the discovery tool. The cleaner tool will actually go and identify if there's a 404 or 403. At least the website for that lender, that hedge fund family office, is fully operational. So that's the first sign. If it's not, it's going to remove it. The discovery allows you to go and match what you're looking for. Are you looking for primarily private money lenders? Do you want to work with hard money lenders, EMD, Gap, family offices, hedge fund? It's going to go It's going to go find out. It's going to go worldwide. It's going to strip mine. It doesn't scrape, and it's going to go out there and add lenders to your database. That is if you're using the app. If you're using what I'm going to show you tonight, it's still manual mode. There's still 1,382. There might be 900, 950 at any one time that are actually still in business. So I do say that's the one caveat for using that. But it is extensive. It is curated. when we obtain these databases, they come through the Family Offices Club. We get them through MPLA, AAPL, Scotsman Guide. They've all been verified and curated by them because a lot of them are their clients or they've gone to their shows. They pay. So when people pay, they're pretty much legitimate. People who aren't legitimate usually don't pay, especially the kind of money it costs to basically advertise with to get a list for MPLA. So that is really quick, like what we're talking about for that. Let me get back up here real quick. I'm going to get into the Capital Passport. So we got Capital Passport. Don't mind the times. I put these in there just to have some reference points. So the talking points, most investors ask who has money. RCIC asks who is the best capital source for the specific deal. So remember, the Capital Passport app will actually match deals. The Capital Passport GPT, you can also do that to a certain degree. You want to use both. Like I said, most everybody in here is using the GPT. Use it for Capital Passport. Use it for skip tracing. Start transitioning to the app and use both of them. Don't just use one. But don't just get on. Just don't go firing away until you're comfortable with GPT. I want you really to get comfortable with GPT. Maybe 30 to 45 days. Really get your flows going. Get all your workflow going. Your deal flow. That's going to help you a lot because then you can generate what you can use with Anthropic because you're going to have to put $20 or $50 into their little deposit for the API. That'll help you. Maybe $50 will last you like 3 months. Just depends on how much API you use. They charge you 2 cents to 5 cents per call, and so theoretically, the way it looks is if we have 5 apps and you're running 5 of our apps 30 days straight, 24/7, you wouldn't spend more than $100. But the GPT, running everything through GPT and just going there when you absolutely have to, or if you like the interface, that's going to actually help you manage that a lot better. So we have Capital Passport's not a lender directory, it's a decision engine. 1,382 vetted capital lending sources. We got private lenders, hard money lenders, EMD, gap funding, family offices, hedge funds, private equity, REITs, fund of funds, pension funds, endowment funds, sovereign wealth funds. Keep this caveat. When you start getting the family offices down, most of them aren't going to be doing deals on our level. We have them in there because obviously you guys know we're working with Wingford Capital. So for doing some of those larger deals and stuff, we'll be using a lot of these. We probably won't be using pension funds or endowment funds. They use sovereign wealth funds, REITs, private equity, fund of funds, hedge funds, and family offices. You can use family offices and hedge funds. Maybe sometimes you'll get private equity or REITs. You won't see any funding at all of any kind of deals that we do out of, like I said, pension funds and endowment funds. Definitely not sovereign wealth funds because you can't call Saudi Arabia. They do. I think they have $1 billion minimum. That's what I read somewhere. So you guys give them the match scores. 90 to 100 is an excellent fit. 75 to 89 is a good fit. Below 75, alternative strategy. So Capital Passport helps operators understand why a source is a strong match, not just who to contact. Coordinate and close. You guys we have the data room, transaction coordination, there's deal registry. Most deals don't fail because of underwriting, they fail because no one knows the next step. So let me go ahead and show you the Capital Passport GPT. Again, that is actually in the files tab as well. If you need it, let me know. Like I said, we have changed modes in here. So I'll show you that first. Core mode. Core mode is the default advisory mode for broad capital strategy, financeability review, structuring, packaging, borrower positioning, deciding the right capital lane. Everybody just know that we built this so it thinks like a lender, a family office, and a hedge fund. That way you are in everything, even lender mode and core does that. So it thinks like a lender. That's going to help you when you're structuring a deal because it's going to give you feedback. Lender mode, senior debt mindset focuses on DSCR, deal debt yield, loan to value, you got recourse, collateral quality, reserves, exit, and repayment certainty. Family office mode, relationship and thesis mindset focused on alignment, sponsor quality, downside protection, flexibility, market conviction, and long-term fit. Then you got hedge fund, opportunistic, structure first mindset focused on speed, complexity, distress, bridge situation, special situations, high yield structures, asymmetric risk reward. To switch, say anyone who's saying switch to lender mode, switch to family office mode, switch to hedge fund mode, or return to core mode, or return to default. So those are your modes in there. If you guys want to go to modes, I'll go through these other buttons real quick, and I'm going to show you I'm going to show our capital passport, and I'm going to show you the capital confidence pyramid. So you got to put all the information in there. So you got to send the deal in this format, and you guys can copy and paste it and put it in your box, and then just take, that's what it's designed for. So what I do is I go ahead and just copy and paste it, right? And you just go down here and just paste it into your box. And then you got your box. And then before you send it, you can just go line by line with your mouse and then just, fill in these blanks. You can delete or whatever. It's pretty cool. It should take you about 10 minutes to put a deal in. Once you send that, it'll return the analysis. It's going to give you a quick verdict, likely fit by mode. What are the main strengths? What are the main weaknesses and red flags? It's green, yellow, red. If you get red, a lot of reds, it's probably not a good deal. If you get yellows, you can fix it. If it's all gray, man, you're good to go. Most realistic capital path. What the suggested structure is, what to fix before outreach. What is the next step in outreach strategy? So without the deal data, the only honest preliminary answer is capital path cannot be determined yet. A deal can be possible, financeable, or attractive, and those are very different conclusions. So it's pretty cool. It'll teach you all about the capital process. It's going to teach you more about just trying to find lenders. So this one's I'm looking for the right lender source. Capital source for a real estate deal. Ask me the key underwriting and sponsor questions, then recommend the best mode and capital passport. So it's going to ask you, what is the asset type? Where is it located? Is this an acquisition, refinance, construction, recap, rescue, or note purchase? What's the purchase price or current value? Total project costs, including CapEx, reserves, fees, and closing costs. Then you're going to get into your income and collateral. What's the current NOI revenue? Stabilized projected NOI revenue, current occupancy, rent roll quality. You get any major physical, environmental, title, zoning, entitlement, or tenant issues. Then it's going to ask you for the business plan. And I'm just going to you guys can go through it once you guys have it and just kind of study it on your own. Capital request, how much debt are you seeking? How much equity is already committed? If you guys are going to do an all equity deal, you tell it that. You ask it to ask you questions, sponsor and guarantee profile. Then you put in your current capital situation. It's going to have a quick verdict, a best fit mode, likely capital source, realistic structure, red flags, what to fix before outreach, and your next step. So that is right there is you're looking for the right capital source. Here's review my deal. Borrow profile capital, ask like an actual lender or investor would. Tell me what is financeable, what is weak, and how to improve my positioning. I can review it in core mode, but I need the deal facts. Capital passports review framework requires the essentials before giving a lender investor style verdict. Asset, location, capital ask, NOI revenue, business plan, leverage, sponsor strength, timing, and exit. So it's going to have all the same things again. You can capital and use your projects. Remember, you can go down here, fill it out before you hit send, copy it again, press send, go over here and put it all into a project. That way you can start with that particular project. Keep a project, an acquisition or something as one project. And that way you keep everything together and all the information. It helps build it really. It's pretty fascinating what it does. So you guys will get in this, and it's just the same thing of what we were talking about. New chat. So let me go back real quick to our back office Thursday. I'm going to show you guys one thing before I show you the database. So I go to desktop. This is something anybody that's gone through some of our background, I think, yeah. So Kevin and Ginger and I have all come through Lee Arnold in code.
So that's what it looks like, huh?
Yeah, let me show you. Let me find it if I got it. The capital. I just gotta see where I put it. Oh, there you go. So capital confidence pyramid. So there you guys go. Value, so it's a pyramid. income, employment stability, credit profile, track record or reputational capital, reserve strength, value confidence, as is an ARV. So shifting the conversation to do I qualify to what increases a lender's confidence. And instead, it would present as the RCIC Capital Confidence Pyramid tied directly to Capital Passport. Lenders don't loan money because you need it. They loan money because they're confident they'll get it back. Everything we do in Capital Passport is designed to increase that confidence. Level one is your income and employment stability. This is where and guys, we're training you also to think about like helping other people. If you get the Capital Passport white label, you can go out there and broker money. You can connect people. You can do all kinds of things besides your own deal. That's part of what we call the triple play, which is, we talked a little bit about that last night. We talked about that a couple months ago, is being able to go in and do surplus and overbid. You can do some wholesaling. You can do some capital connecting and private money brokering. You can throw in a couple of different things. You can have up to like maybe 5 income. These are things that you can do, loaning, EMD, loaning gap. There's things like that. That's a little bit more risky. That'd be 4th and 5th on the list. So the top 3 obviously are surplus and overbid, do some brokering and capital connecting and wholesaling. Those are the top 3. And you guys can go in there and you can get income and cash flow while learning a lot. Like if you're not in a position yet to do exactly what you want, do a few of these things while you build your knowledge, you get all the experience, you build all your systems, you use RCIC to do that, you are getting income and cash flow. And then so they look at it, can you make the payments? Is your income stable? Are you employed? How long? W-2 or self-employed? Are you a business owner? Traditional lenders care about this the most. Private lenders care less. We got private and hard money lenders. Then it's going to look at your credit profile. I mean, there's some, obviously, everybody will argue about that. There's a lot of lenders that don't look at credit, but a lot do. So just be prepared how that works. We'll kind of skip over that because you guys can, credit sometimes gets in a little bit of a tricky area. The track record and reputational capital. So this is where investors begin separating themselves. Questions become how many deals, how many flips, how many rental properties, do you have any defaults? Can you execute? Do people trust you? Reputation becomes collateral. Sometimes this matters more than credit. Level 4 is reserve. One of the most overlooked metrics. Lenders love liquidity. Cash reserves mean unexpected repairs, no problem. Delayed closing, no problem. Vacancy, no problem. The stronger your reserves, the lower your perceived risk. That's another where once you get a couple acquisitions, get some rental properties, do some flips, things like that, still do the triple play. Because guess what? You don't have to depend on that money for income anymore. Now you can actually just start building your reserves up with that and have a rainy day fund. Level 5 is your value confidence. This is where it shines. Notice at the top isn't you, it's the deal. Because ultimately, good deals get funded. Capital Passport spends enormous effort building confidence around as is value, ARV, comparable sales, the rehab budget, max allowable offer, exit strategy, market conditions. The stronger the deal, the easier capital becomes. The pyramid in action. Imagine 2 investors. Investor A, 800 credit score, little experience, weak deal. Investor B, 680 credit score, 20 successful projects, strong reserves, excellent ARV, outstanding exit. Guess who many private lenders are going to choose? Investor B, because confidence outweighs scorecards. So think about that. It's a scorecard, a credit score. It may not tell the whole story. Somebody's a 650 or 600 even could probably be very successful at it. Maybe there's a reason that their credit score is lower because they've got a lot, they're managing credit cards and things, paying for their business. How RCIC helps build every layer. Income and employment, traditional lender matching, the credit profile, Capital Passport filters based on credit requirements. It's going to go through all those lenders and it's going to pull what they require. It might give you 10 lenders. Every lender is different. It's going to rank them and said, if you're looking to have a lender that doesn't pull your credit, it'll probably have 2 or 3, but they're going to probably be at the bottom of that 10. Not that they're not great, but it just does it that way. Credit, what your track record is, your operator profile, completed deals, deal registry, reserve strength. Your reserve strength is capital planning and stack design, value confidence, market reality assessment, comps, ARV, rehab scope, max allowable offer, exit strategy. Remember, we are the only one, RCIC is the only one that has market reality assessment. RCIC philosophy, most investors think I need better credit. Sometimes they do. More often, they need better deals, better documentation, better underwriting, better preparation, better credibility. That's what the Deal Desk is. So Deal Desk is RCIC Deal Desk. It's the app. It's Anthropic and Netlify, but you can also use Core and Capital Passport, Risk Connection, Risk Rehab and Scope of Work. You can use Skip Wizard and Engage. You won't need Surplus and Everbid unless you're actually doing that. You can use all 5 of the GPTs, and you can really just max it out. I mean, you just put them here. It's not taking up any more room. And then you can go back and forth, and you can build projects, and you can move things around. Once you get it trained, man, those 5 GPTs will get a lot of stuff done for you. So closing thought, one small enhancement. We're going to put every level increases lender confidence. I can't really put a banner in here. This is telling me what to do on that. So let's go ahead and let me go ahead and review go back to this real quick. And everybody in our group, you guys can receive this. Please review for the operators on Zoom. And you guys can go put this in there, set up a Capital Passport, for this. You get the Excel, go ahead and set up a project for that. So you got this database, because then you can start using this database in GPT as well. So behind the database, everyone needs to understand something. You're not looking at a lender list. You're looking at an intelligence asset. So what you're seeing over the past several years, we've built and organized a capital ecosystem that currently contains 1,382 institutional capital sources. The primary sheet contains 1,383 rows, including a header, or 1,382 organizations. A lot of it, sometimes it's contacts. You might have 3 or 4 people at a hedge fund. 447 private and hard money lending programs. We also have 17,000 contacts, hedge funds, pension funds, family offices, endowment funds, fund of funds. There's 17,000. Most of those will not do real estate at our level. So we have them, we'll employ them for what we do with Langford and some other opportunities. But they're really kind of useless to you guys unless you guys are doing something like that. If you want, let me know, and we'll try to help you out. I mean, you have access to it. Just let me know what you need, and we'll try to help you, because we also don't want people to go through and just burn the list, meaning they start just contacting everybody. And the family offices don't put their numbers out there. Very few of them, probably less than 10% of them, actually have any contact information at all out there in the public. So this isn't just names. Every entry represents research. Sheet 1, institutional capital. The first database includes firms from around the world. Each record contains information like the firm, the primary contact, the title, their email, the country, investment interest, assets under management, and capital type. And it'll start giving these off-ramps. You guys can click on it. That means we don't simply know who they are. We know what they invest in, how large they are, what asset classes interest them, what type of capital they represent. That's intelligence. It's not a list. You'll see organizations categorized as, like I said, hedge funds, private equity, family offices, institutional investors, real estate investors, alternative asset managers. Some manage millions, others manage hundreds of millions, some manage billions. Each has different investment criteria. Now you're getting sheet 2, the private lending programs. The second sheet is built for operators that need to close deals today. These entities include lender name, the contact information, their website, the phone number, the primary funding type, the secondary funding type, program notes, and lending criteria. And then what makes this value? Notice something. We're not just saving websites, we're capturing operational intelligence. Examples include loan size ranges, geographic restrictions, states they won't lend in, property types, commercial versus residential, bridge financing, land loans, second position lending, blanket loans, credit flexibility, foreign national programs, timing, special conditions. So this is where Capital Passport comes in. I don't want you scrolling through 1,382 firms asking who might fund my deal. I want RCIC asking which of these 1,382 sources best matches the deal. People, you want to put it in just like I put it in. set up a project capital passport, then add the database and use it that way. Because if you go through manually and just look at them, you're probably not going to get anywhere, even if you're looking at just the lender list, just because potentially you could burn through the list. You want these to match your deals. You want to set up so it matches it. So when you're in there and you do all the deals through Capital Passport and Core and all that stuff, you come to the end of it, and all of a sudden you can say, "Hey, what 10 lenders in the deal can do this?" Now, keep in mind, most of these are databases. We don't necessarily know them personally. So if you call one of these lenders, they probably don't know RCIC because of how we acquire these databases. One set of databases we paid almost $6,000 for. So these are all, a lot of them are curated. I have the AI going through once a month now, and it actually is going through it to check them. Like I said, to make sure there's no 404, there's no 403, at least the websites work. That's the minimum we can do for, I mean, really, we can't do a whole lot more than that without calling them all. So if you get 10 lenders, maybe 2 or 3 might not be in business. Maybe 1 or 2 may not have an interest. But wouldn't you like to know you got the 3 or 4 lenders that will do the deal? You got that, and so that helps you a lot. We're trying to cut it's like the learning curve in school, right? Or anything you learn.
Here's the other part about this. You can come about it from the other angle.
Yeah.
You can use Capital Passport to structure your deals. Well, if they're already made for this, you just take that information and put it in. Okay, I'd like to be able to find XYZ assets that meet these particular criteria, and then let that flow in there and see what you get. So you can kind of come out from both directions and you get the same result. Then you know you got something that's going to be good. And most of these lenders are going to end up staying with you because you actually produce proper documentation and in a lot of ways more than what they need, but they're going to be able to still work with you a lot more than when other people that don't have all that stuff up front. So those are some other things that you need to take into consideration here.
Yeah, and so you guys have Capital Passports, the intelligence layer. You enter the purchase price, the ARV, the rehab amount, the loan amount, exit strategy, asset type, state, experience, and timeline. So it narrows thousands of possibilities into the most appropriate capital matches. So why does this matter? Most investors build relationships with 2 or 3 lenders. Professional operators build relationships with an ecosystem. The better your deal, the more options you have. The more options you have, the stronger your negotiating position becomes. So you got front office, find the opportunity, skip wizard, find and verify the people, offer generation, structure the acquisition, capital passport, match deal with the right capital, transaction coordination, move everyone toward closing and close, capture the profit. Here's a closing thought. I don't measure this database by how many names it contains. I measure it by the number of deals that can help our operators close. Every contact, every funding program, every note, and every lending criterion represents research that you don't have to repeat. Capital Passport is about transforming that research into actionable recommendations so you can spend your time structuring deals instead of hunting for money. All right, one more thing I want to show you guys just because we're here, since you guys probably haven't seen it yet. And I'll show you guys Engage later. But this is actually, guys, we have Scope Engine. And you can go through and it's pretty cool. You can go through this, you can put all your pictures in it. Let me just show you these and I'll just do this real quick. Because I mean, if you guys want, we'll do a rehab and scope of work. Maybe we'll do that August 5th when we come back this afternoon surplus and everybody next week. So obviously you guys can put photos and files during the plus. You can put pictures in. Even if you haven't got the property yet, you can get the pictures off of Zillow and Redfin and all that. They're still good for pictures. Use Google Earth, get some pictures from the aerials. Put them all in there because it helps you build your rehab and scope of work. So it's not really going to have a lot of in this particular button. So let me go back to this one. So we'll have a property packet into room by room. So a lot of these, I can show you, how to navigate them. You guys got to actually be able to enter stuff in this for this to work better. But I just wanted to show you that we have it. If anybody wants it, it's in the files tab as well. You can get a rehab scope of work, underwriting, and all that. Yeah, and our rehab scope of work paperwork is really phenomenal. We got contractor agreements. It actually has the ability to help you generate your draw schedules. Also, your OSHA safety. You guys are doing some stuff in some areas. You do want to make sure your contractors are being safe, especially if you're building new construction or you're building stuff where you got building inspectors, because OSHA does drive around sometimes. Suck to wipe out your profit with an OSHA fine. But that is the rehab scope engine, we do have Engage. So getting back to what we were going to talk about, let me go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll start asking. Let me start going through everybody in here. Anybody got any questions? Hey, Jeremy, welcome. I know this is your first time, so real quick, do you want to introduce yourself to the group? I know you're Elizabeth's partner. I talked to you yesterday. Do you want to kind of let me get you unmuted? Yeah, if you want to kind of introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jeremy Pearson, I live here in the Houston area. Partnered up with another individual that I'm really good friends with. So brand new to the group, so just trying to get in and understand the system. So I do private money, and I also do like real estate investing. So just trying to utilize this and try to be able to generate leads where I'm not having to spend the money in other locations, and try to do it just directly through here and start to build that platform.
Cool. And then, like I said, we do have. If you're working with Elizabeth, I did send her market guides, which is how we power this up with buy box and markets, and I can run that through on a different another one-on-one to help you get started. But she doesn't. We do market guides, and they're pretty thorough. They actually go into like all the counties, what agency runs foreclosures, what agency is responsible for for evictions, things like that. So it's kind of cool, and it helps power up all the searches. So if she's doing it right, but we do use projects, and we'll tell people go over here to projects, and you want to set up a buy box project. Mine's down. Don't set up mine, because obviously I'm in here all the time. But you want to set up buy box, and then you want to set up a markets one. And the markets could be if you're in Houston, or if you're if you're in Harris County, or you're in Bear County, and San Antonio, or if you're in Dallas or Tarrant, wherever you are, have guides.
I have the Texas ones. I'm in Texas as well.
Yeah, that's where he's at. So
yeah,
that's in Houston.
Yeah, I'm over by Waco, so kind of Bahia, Texas.
We got about as many people in Michigan as we do in Texas too. That's interesting. I think we got each state in each of those two states. It's kind of weird, but all those Michigan people came in together.
Oh yeah.
So as you're filling these out, do you recommend like doing it by county, or do you recommend just going ahead and uploading several at a time? Or what is your recommendation?
We recommend doing by county. So the market guides would say like it's specific for Harris County, although I did build one for Texas and then Harris, Tarrant, and Dallas. We do try to break them up. One of the things I do is we provide a PDF, and I do it, and I do one for Elizabeth. If you still want to, if you want to have your own, let me know, and I'll try to make you one. I'll make you one, and then I show you how to duplicate it. So basically, if it comes out and says it's Harris County, right? It's going to have all the HJs. It's going to have what we call the off ramps. You want to look at RCIC like a highway, like an interstate. So instead of the off ramps being like hotels and gas stations and world's largest ball of string, the tourist traps, it's basically the AHJs, the authority having jurisdiction, the counties. That's the first stop. The next stop is going to think about like Home Depot or Lowe's. It's the tool store. It's where you're going to get all your tools for ARV comps, what we call market reality assessment, which is kind of like comparative market analysis that a real estate agent would do for a client. You get all the tools, then you're getting skip tracing. So just imagine those stops are down the highway, each one of those off ramps. So when you get the little links and stuff when it returns it, you can click on them live. It's kind of let me show you real quick. I'm not going to pull one up tonight actually, but I'll show you guys how to generate that. Can you provide the link? Off ramp. We call them, like I said, we use the off ramp for the HJ. Sorry, I try to make sure there's no typos and stuff. For foreclosures, I'll just use my county because I know how to get around my county where I live. So I'm going to show you one in Colorado. It's obviously these work. So you want to go by county and zip codes.
You're probably going to want to stay close to home, just getting used to how this thing works, considering in Houston, there's going to be a whole bunch of information that's going to throw at you because that market is so large. But it all applies to all markets across across the United States. And doing it by county actually does you a lot of good because it kind of limits the overload that you may end up getting when you try to put something in there.
Yeah.
You're going to have more than enough work there to work with as it is. But once you get that down, then you can start working into other areas.
So yeah, no, so this is obviously most of these counties are going to be the same nationally. There's going to be some obviously we call the Mayberry counties, or you might have the foreclosures in the same search results as weddings and obituaries because they're small counties where they may not have a lot of technology. You can also have it where it can be different because of vendors. We have that case here in Colorado, Boulder County and Broomfield County right next to it. They use completely different vendors. So kind of just show you guys this. It'll pull up the HD, the off ramp. I have the official website, so I could click on this. It's going to bring up the NEDs, the notice of sales, the sale results, the withdrawal and foreclosure, all the cure and redemption information's there, public trustee sale calendar, and foreclosure search. I will show this to people on one-on-one where we actually open those because YouTube did remove that one that we showed that was really cool. I'm not going to show like opening the actual NEDs live where it could have somebody's actual information on there. I will show you the process of going to the county, what it looks like, just because we don't want to have.
Yeah, they didn't like it so much when we did that. They thought we were intruding somebody's
like
territory.
Times. Yeah, we did like 30 times, but they also said it's non-public. And I'm like, this is all public records. All we're doing is showing people how to get it in bulk. Public trustee sales search. So it gives you those links. And in every county's, the market guides will explain the county, how your county's set up. You got the clerk and recorder in my county, and it goes through a lot of, these all, the assessor will get into ownership, site status, mailing address, parcel number, property characteristics, valuation, tax schedule. You get into the treasurer. So you use all these counties, you can just go back and forth. You can program in, for a county and have it all your searches. You can have it search on Delta sweeps. Delta sweep, for anybody who doesn't know, is a term that OpenAI uses. Any search, no matter what you're doing, even personal stuff. If you're out there trying to find a pharmacy or find a car repair or something, it's a Delta sweep. So we call it Delta sweeps. The GIS mapping department has the parcel boundaries, zoning, aerial imagery, neighbor contacts, adjacent ownership. You go to GIS in some counties, you could actually get better results than Google Earth because the county is providing that to the fire department. They're providing that to the sheriff, law enforcement, road and bridge, all that. So they might have better results than Google Earth. In Colorado, every state's different on judiciary, on probate, foreclosures, judicial foreclosures, quiet title, receiverships. In my state, everything, even though it's first judicial district, everything actually goes through courts and state, the county judicial branch. So even though I can go to Jefferson County, I can actually go to one source for the entire state and pull everything. Probate, obviously back to the county and the state. I got the sheriff sales when they happen, eviction enforcement, civil process. Then it gets into the Delta Sweep sources. So every morning or every week, you can set up monitoring, and it actually sends you a thing to your email and says, hey, you got a list. You can go there, click on it, it'll open you a chat. It'll have a list. You can start then feeding that into your buy box and your markets and build even bigger lists. So it has all that. Here's your high value distress signals. And then you get into workflow. And then you get into recommended. It tells you how to do the Delta Sweep. So real quick, I will go to Jefferson County. I will try to show you guys at least where you can go to pull this. Let me stop sharing. I have that little glitch, so I have to go back. All right, so this is Jefferson County, Colorado. And so here you can go into here. It didn't quite open the right one, but I can still get there. The other link in there will actually go to the right one, but I might have to go back to it and do it. Kind of change some things around. Yeah, let me go back to it real quick. I'm going to zoom back to, I'm going to actually go to the cell search. Same county results, it's just a different link of theirs. Oh, okay, good. All right. What do I want to do there? Let me get back to it real quick. For some reason, I'm getting a 404 on there, so I don't know exactly what. Let me just go back to the original what Jeffco's site, and I will. So most of the time, you'll actually be able to go right to the actual source, like you go maps and data downloads. So I'm trying to see which department, because they just redid the website. That's another thing, you guys. You just spend time looking at when you do a market guide, where things might be if the link doesn't go exactly to where you need to be at.
Hey, Nate, I gotta jump, so I'll
Okay,
talk to
cool.
y'all next time. Bye.
Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Search foreclosures. So a lot of times I go right to it. So obviously you kind of know how search works. Here's your search foreclosures in Jefferson County. Now you go to the foreclosures property search. You got to accept terms. So you guys get in here right now. So this is where I'm talking about the vendor. Jefferson County, Boulder County. Jefferson County just south of Boulder, where University of Colorado is. Broomfield County. Jefferson County and Boulder use the same vendor, so it's going to look just like this. And that's why I said when you first get a market guide, if it's Harris County, Tarrant County, wherever it is, Maricopa in Arizona, go look and visit and see how the vendors are, how they're set up, so you kind of know it, because that's the way to fast track it. If you got all the information on your list that you're getting on your Delta sweeps, you'll have a lot of the foreclosure number, their name, the zip codes, and all that. Generally, what I like to do also is I will go ahead and do a foreclosure sweep. And I'm just going to search from July 1st through yesterday. And I hit search. And there are 20 records. And I'm not going to actually go and run any of these names, because we don't want to obviously, I don't know. I kind of have to, we'll do this we'll go ahead and do this on one-on-ones and individual ones. But that's what you do. And you can actually then go through, and you can even have it go and just copy and paste it all. You can download these all information wise, and you'll get all that information. You'll get the lender name, you get the lender's attorney, all that stuff. So what I could do is I could go back and here is the current NED list. Notice of election demand, notice of default, for the same thing in a non-judicial foreclosure state. Yeah. So you can put them all in one time. I'm doing it in the main bar, but you want to do it in the buy box. So if you get 20 of them in there, you put them in your buy box in your markets, it'll actually then sift through them. And actually, you might have 84. El Paso County, Colorado, had 84 last November foreclosure filings in the month. And, how do you parse that down? You put it in your buy box, is going to sort that down to maybe 10 or 15 deals. Here you go. It's evaluating the data. So you can rapidly do the search. I'm going to kind of just scan through this really fast, so nobody's information is on there too long. But you guys can kind of see the point. You can get a lot of good information on it. And it gets into surplus and overbid, so you guys can see all this. That's what I said. I'm just going to kind of not stick around too long on this. So it's not a lead list. This is a distress event queue. So you can go and put in your buy box. It's going to help you determine equity. It'll help you with urgency, contactability, and financeable acquisition. It's pretty cool on what it does. Okay, so we're back on back office Thursday. Let me go ahead and rate a couple of other people. I know Ginger just left. Let me see anybody else. Matt, you got anything, or Doris or Neil? What's up, Matt?
Hey, how's it going, Nate?
Very good, man.
Glad to hear it. Not nothing right now, but using your tools to look for multifamily properties.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it right now.
How's your other project going?
It's going really good. Yeah, the app is really far. I've turned it into an operational system, so it's not just like a checkbox, but more of a compliant flow through the whole life cycle of the government contract. And yeah, so you're able to audit yourself as you're working through the contract. So just in case if you're doing like the $1 million contracts, you'll have that security review and stay compliant and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn it into a service. Somebody told me that I can potentially go on the GSA, have
Yeah.
as a contract manager, and use my system, and then that'll work. So that's where my next goal is. But the coach is like 2,700. I can figure it out on my own, but I haven't looked at GSA. So, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, because you'd be really good at that probably. All right, cool. Let me get to some other people real quick while we're on. While it generates my thumbnail. Doris, what's going on? How are you? Then I'll get to Neil. Hey, Doris.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay. Nothing much. I'm just playing catch up, trying to learn the system and play with it a little bit. And Kevin and I talked, so he got me reading from left to right, and you got me playing on the computer here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody didn't see it, but wherever you input was, my screen stayed blanked, so I was just trying to listen to you
Let
about.
me know if that happens because sometimes, like I said, I'm hoping this didn't happen for everybody. Sometimes that's why I have to do that thing where I stop share, reshare because I gotta, it's not the best system in the world.
Okay.
So I just try to make sure. So if you ever can't see what we're talking about, let me know, and I'll try to see if maybe it is something on my end. Most of the time,
Okay.
it's that I can't really fix on my end, but if I know about it, at least I can attempt to try to fix it. And I'm
Okay.
available. Have a little bit more time. Everybody, I won't be available next Thursday. We're not going to be doing a Zoom on Thursday next week, and then Wednesday we'll do.
Yeah, he's not going to be available on Wednesday morning either.
You're not gonna have a class on Wednesday. Next
he's
Wednesday.
Following up in my footsteps. He's actually going to end up being on Investor Fuel podcast on Wednesday or on Monday, and the next Wednesday is going to come out.
No, I'm on. I do it on Wednesday.
So
I'm on Wednesday. And
you're doing it on Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday afternoon. And then we'll do Wednesday Zoom. We'll talk surplus and overbid. I'll be out on action on Thursday. And then I'll be, like I said, if anybody wants to do one-on-one, let me know. I have some time next week, early in the week to do it. And I'll be taking Thursday and probably Friday off. I rarely do it, guys. I'm having a procedure on my, like laser on my eye. So I will be probably not. I mean, I just out of precaution, I just didn't want to hey, I'm canceling. I'd rather tell you guys, hey, let's just not do it. Our next Thursday, do a video Thursday night off, and then I'll be back, and everything will be good, and then we'll reconvene on the August 5th. August 5th will be the 100th Zoom for RCIC. That doesn't mean it's 100 in total. We've probably almost 500 Zooms since 2021. So that's kind of just the schedule. Let me go through some of the questions real quick. Yeah, I forgot Neil. You also through Neil through Lee as well. That's actually me. Hey Neil, what's going on, dude? Cool. Like, so everybody wants a one-on-one. Jeremy, if you need one, if you and Lisbeth need one together where I can help you guys structure some stuff, get your stuff set up better, let me know too, and I can schedule that also. You can do one with Kevin as well. He can talk to you about the some of the bigger stuff we're doing with Langford Capital.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to schedule some time with you to, just some one-on-one, just to kind of go through the system a little bit and learn a little bit better.
Yeah, and make sure you and Elizabeth both have all the 5 GPTs. we didn't want to build. I didn't want to build that many, but they limit. I put a 275 page update into surplus and overbid the other day. So it's like they only give you like so much where you can. There's almost 12,000 pages in a core, in RCIC core. So eventually you just can't put much more. It just starts getting too much stuff in there for it to. So I try to separate them, but everybody works off core, which is the main one, and then the other ones are like GPT for, like I said, Capital Passport engages all the communications, as texting, calls, doing cold calls, things like that. It helps everybody prepare for those and be compliant. And then we got like Skip, obviously Skip Wizard. We recommend that everybody gets 30 to 45 days in using the GPTs. And then if you want to use the apps and stuff, they're all Anthropic and Netlify, and I can explain that more in detail. Those are really awesome. They have dashboards. RCIC Core, you can actually anything on the GPT you can build onto. The apps are not flexible. I have to actually go in there and fix stuff. But once you guys get comfortable, you guys can just build this any way you want. You can almost modify it. You can make your own GPT. You can use anything you get it from us, you can use for yours. So it's pretty cool. You just go to like this, you go to your GPT up here and go to GPTs and you go here and hit create. And you can make your own GPT, right? And create. Pretty cool. And then you can build
You
it
got
up.
a long way to go on that doggone computer.
Yeah.
I got a long way to go on that computer.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I appreciate your time tonight. I'm going to go ahead and turn the recording off. Anybody needs, I'll put this video up in the morning on Zoom, on YouTube. And then, like I said, Wednesday at 5 p.m., we will be doing only surplus and overbid. Then Thursday will be off. And then we'll return on August 5th for 100th episode. We'll be back to the front office Wednesday and back office Thursday. Anybody wants one-on-ones, let me know. I'll be able to do them in the afternoons. If anybody needs any tweaks or assistance, like I said, 8 o'clock in the morning, Denver time to about noon, 7 days a week, you guys can hit me up on Messenger, copy and paste or screenshot, send it to my Messenger. I can get you a fix. That'll start changing as we get into football season. On Sundays, I will cut back at 11 o'clock. Generally, I'll watch, and then on University of Colorado football games, I will generally be trying, and I'm not saying that I prefer not to at the Broncos watching, being, hey, you hit me up after the game. Friday nights, I'll be some Thursday nights, probably not Thursday nights, but I'll probably go to 2 or 3 of our high school games this year. So I'm not going to go to all of them, but I do support our football coach as being the alumni president of our high school football program. So, yeah, anybody has any questions, like I said, reach out to me. If you need any tweaks, let me know.
Okay.
I'll see everybody.
I think Neil had a question.
Oh, yeah. Neil, what's your question?
He said his audio wasn't working, but he asked about a former question about core versus highway.
The highway is rcicsystems.com. It's more structured, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it lately. Everybody has access to all of it. You do need Netlify and Anthropic. You need the API key. The apps are a little bit more flexible because you can mix and match. Pretty much everybody needs RCIC Deal Desk. If you want, like I said, there is RV parks, because I know that's what you're into, in the highway. We don't have a standalone yet. I haven't done an RV park standalone like for Skip Wizard or for surplus and overbid yet. But the core, we're really trying to get everybody to really stick to core as much as possible right now in this phase, because we want, and you can use the highway. Anybody can. It's all you guys can use whatever you want. But I obviously want 30. Try to get everybody fully operational on core and these GPTs, because a lot of stuff can happen. I can actually build an RV park GPT if I needed to, but I'd rather help you build your own. That way you have it, you build it your way, and you got all the tools you need for yourself. And I don't have a problem doing that. So that goes for anybody. Anybody out there wants to do their own GPT or something, particularly with what their business is, multifamily RV, anything like that, let me know too. We can try to do it. It really takes less than about 15 minutes to do to build a GPT, and you got all the information, all the stuff you need. You need to build it yourself. I'm not gonna, I'll basically just walk you through the process,
I
So
did see that you were doing something on surplus. I was looking at that as well.
yeah,
But there's at certain states you need to get in contact with a lawyer because you aren't able to represent them or something like that.
yeah, there are some states, and we do have that in there. We do have a surplus in GPT, surplus and overbid, and I can send you that. So you can get that one that is in there. There's a 50 state drop down. We've also got the surplus and overbid app on Netlify and Anthropic. A couple other people are doing surplus and overbid in our group. Ginger's really good at it. She's getting into it. We got a couple of new people. We got the guy from Australia, Warren Clark. And we also got a couple, Danny Say, I think this is his last name. We got 4 or 5 people doing surplus and overbid. And it is a great way to do it. But yeah, you got a couple. And I think Ginger, I need to hear more about what she's doing. So Wednesday night, next Wednesday will be 100%, 100% surplus and overbid. So on that question, I'll try to come up with an answer for you for next Wednesday on that and show you guys how to research that. I think some people were getting the information for a lawyer. It just depends. Like I said, a lot of stuff is up and down. But the good thing about surplus and overbid, you can make really good money helping people with money they're entitled to. You just don't want to promise them. But yeah, it's they've gone through foreclosure. It's life probably sucks for them, and you can tell them, hey, you got $50,000 sitting there. There's one we saw that was $51,000. I'd only charge them like 10%. I can still give them $46,000. It comes to the county, it comes to the state sometimes. Yeah, that $46,000 could help them restart after a foreclosure. So
Yes, I can be up to 10%. My grandmother, she has like 10,000 that I need to figure out how to get.
yeah, if you want to run it, if she's still, anybody in your family members, anybody, let me know. We'll do a one-on-one, and we'll actually try to work on yours specifically. And I'll try to see if I can get Ginger's a little bit more experienced at this than I am, so I'll try to see if I can get her on as well. I'll get all the questions. Anybody send me, if anybody has questions on surplus and overbid, let me know. I'll get them all answered for Wednesday night.
Thank you. And also for my app, I basically need to run. I need to how I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, Jim.
I need people to use it. Like I got the certificate, but I don't have experience, so I need to find users that will be able to use it at like a trial run.
Oh yeah, we can do that. We can figure that out. So yeah, Jeremy, I'll get that to you. I'll get you the core, and then the other ones. I'll try to get you the whole package first thing in the morning when I'm back on. So I got to process the Zoom right now, and so I'll get you a whole list of all the GPTs. Anybody else need the other GPTs too? Let me know, and I'll get them all to you guys tomorrow.
Appreciate it, Nate.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. I'll talk to everybody later.
Have a good one, Nate. Good luck.